Last time we learned to read a price. Today we take on the single most important number in football, the point spread. It's the bet the whole sport is organized around. More money runs through the spread than any other market on the board. And most people who bet it never really understand what the number is or why it moves. So today, how the book builds the spread, why it moves before kickoff, and how the war over 3 and 7 is won and lost. Start with what the number actually is. The spread is a handicap, points the book takes away from the favorite and hands to the underdog to turn a lopsided game into a coin flip. Lay 6.5 and your team has to win by 7. Take 6.5 and you can lose by 6 and still cash, which means +3 and -3 are not the same bet. They're two different bets, and the number between them is everything. Here's what most bettors miss. The spread is two things at the same time. It's a forecast, the book's best guess at the real margin. That's where the number opens. But the second it's posted, it becomes a market. Money comes in and the number moves. Not because the team's changed, but because the demand did. So the closing number isn't just a prediction. It's a prediction plus everything the betting world did to it. Now the football specific part. Because points come in 3s and 7s, final margins stack up on a few numbers. 3 most of all. Then 7. So not all half points are equal. The half point sitting on 3 is the most valuable piece of real estate in football betting. Getting your dog to +3 instead of +2.5 means you win the games that land exactly on a field goal. That's roughly 1 game in 10. On 3.5 points, it's a different bet entirely. So the goal is to simply say, and it takes discipline to follow. Always try to get the better side of the key number. It's you're taking the underdog, fight to stay +3 or higher, not +2.5. If you're laying the favorite, you want -2.5, not -3. That means watching the line early because these numbers move, and the difference between the right side of 3 and the wrong side of 3 will decide a chunk of your season. Lines move for two real reasons: new information and sharp money. The biggest information of all is the quarterback. When a starting quarterback is ruled out, an NFL spread can swing 7 points or more in an instant. Nothing else in the sport moves a number like that. So before you bet, check who's playing, who's hurt, and whether the number in front of you already knows something you don't. So the goal is simple to say, and it takes discipline to follow. Always try to get the better side of a key number. If you're taking the underdog, fight to stay at +3 or higher, not +2.5. If you're laying the favorite, you want -2.5, not -3. That means watching the line early because these numbers move, and the difference between the right side of 3 and the wrong side of 3 will decide a chunk of your season. Lines move for two real reasons: new information and sharp money. The biggest information of all is the quarterback. When a starting quarterback is ruled out in the NFL, the spread can swing 7 points or more in an instant. Nothing else in the sport moves a number like that. So before you bet, check who's playing, who's hurt, and whether the number in front of you already knows something you don't. The other reason a line moves is money. And not all money is equal. Watch for this. Most of the public is betting one side, but the line moves the other way. That's called reverse line movement. It means a smaller amount of sharp, respected money is pushing against the number and against the crowd. When the line moves against the public, the book is telling you where the smart money went. Don't buy points. A lot of books let you buy points, move the spread in your favor for a price. Understand what it's really costing you. Buying a half point usually turns a minus 110 into a minus 120. That quietly raises your break even from about 52.5% to over 54.5%. Most of the time, that's a bad deal. The one real exception is buying into or off of 3 where the number is worth so much that the price can actually make sense. So here's the old video in one line. You're not betting a team, you're betting a number. +3 and -3 are different bets. The right side of a key number is worth real money, and the closing line already carries every injury and every sharp bet that came before you. Respect the number, get the best version of it you can, and you're already ahead of the room. Let's take a look at Heater and see where some of these lines are showing up. Okay, so now we're in Heater. We went to NFL. We took the New England Seattle game because there's that number, 3.5. And we put it through. We just hit the spread button here and we put it through. And so what do they like? What does Heater like? And the recommendation is take the 3.5, because it's the better number. And it sits on the right side of 3. The confidence is it's a lean. It's toss-up territory. Would I take it? Probably not, but if I was going to have to bet it, and I probably will because it's the first game of the year and it's a Thursday night and there's no other games going on, so I'm going to watch it anyway. So then what it does is it tells you why it has this confidence, and they go right there. It's one of the toughest matchups the model can produce because they have ideal composite scores that the Heater model puts together. The core issue is the number itself. The model projects Seattle's true margin of victory at approximately 0.4 points, which is essentially a pick'em, yet the market is pricing Seattle as a 3.5 point favorite. That's a 3.9 point gap between what the model expects and what the spread demands. So you're being asked to lay nearly a field goal on a game the Heater model sees as a coin flip. Going down here, you see model and the market. We're comparing the model versus the market. Seattle win probability is 52.5%. The market, which is implied by 3.5%, is 62.2. Sorry, implied by 3.5 points. New England's win probability, the model has it 47.5. The market sees it at 37.8. That is almost a 10% spread there. 9.7% edge in the money line equivalent. So I'll probably take a shot on New England based on that being on the right side of 3.5. So that's the point spread. A handicap, a forecast, and a market. All in one number with 3 and 7 towering over the whole thing. Read the number first. Get the right side of it. Then worry about the pick. Heater projects a margin for every NFL game and shows you where the market number is soft. Links in the description. Next time, we flip to the other side of the board. The total, the over and the under, how weather, pace, and coaching decide it, and why the public loves the over a little too much. Same thinking, new number. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you in the next one.